and welcome to another beautiful time on Executive Discuss, coming to you on the network service of the NTA. My name is Ololade Adeniji. As it's our style on this program, week in, week out, we seek out trailblazers, people who have made their mark in their chosen fields, and people who have done great things for this country, so that you and I can learn from them. Today, I have found myself in the ancient city of Benin. Yes, talking about the Benin Kingdom. It is, a city that holds so much in terms of human and natural resources. And today I have with me a very, very distinguished guest. Yes, he is a man who has given so much to this great country, Nigeria. He is a man who rose. He was born, into a humble background, and he rode through the works. And today he is indeed a great man. He was the first man, yes, he pioneered the individual aviation industry in Nigeria, talking about owning his own personal airline. He also went into education. I mean, he is very, very big on education. I'm sure you're wondering who exactly it is I'm talking about, but you should have an idea now. Please join me as we welcome right here in his palace, the Isama of Benin Kingdom, talking about Sir Chief Gabriel Osawaru Igbinedion. It's good to meet you, sir.
Thank you. "24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can watch NTA International live on your TV, computer, iPad, tablet and phone. Log on to visiontv.co.uk and click on Entertainment, then NTAI. You can also download the iOS or Android app on your mobile devices to watch NTA International on the go, anywhere in the world. NTA International, your window to the world."
Now, for the purpose of this conversation, because, yes, very many people know you. A lot of people know you. But for the purpose of maybe those that do not really know who Chief Sir Igbinedion is, I would want you to please tell us about yourself. Where you were born, your early years, possibly schools you attended.
Thank you so much.
And then we can take up the conversation from there.
Well, I was born in Okada. It is 7 years ago. When I was 9, I lost my father. There was a forest guard called Idahosa. After Idahosa. In Okada, those days, government used to protect our forests. When the man saw me, at the tender age, lost my father, he listened to side talk. He now decided to approach my mother, that in order to save this child, he would take him from her to bring her to Benin, to come and start school in Benin. Let me go back to a little bit. Okada was founded by my father. The present Okada. There's Okada inside the forest before,
when my father was coming from Benin with somebody, he said he would not pass the stream. He doesn't know how deep the stream was because it's already dark. My father now came to approach a place where we are living till today. He stayed there till daybreak. By the time he got to Okada, my grandfather already alerted the village that his son got missing last night. His son just come home. The villager was sharpening their cutlass to go to the bush in search of my father. My father appeared. Everybody put white chalk on head and thank God Almighty. Now narration. So because of the way they scolded, he said no, he was a stubborn. God was directing him. I knew his stubbornness. He now said, where he slept last night, that is going to be the dwelling place. He defied his friend. So it came there, start with that time, it's mud house. Collect his family to come and make mud house, we build it, and stay with it. They live in the roof of the house, not even bubble. So the following year, Igbinedion and everybody came to build a house. That's how Okada, from inside, everybody will move to present day Okada. They now say we should not call it Okada, call it Ukpo.
Ukpo.
At May Road. It was me during my lifetime that was supposed to use my connection to change it from Ukpo
back to Okada.
The school in Okada is a Roman Catholic school, Okada, where I was going. When I came to every Catholic school was filled up. Only two, Holy Cross and Orogen, no other branch. With the Daosa connection, they had to put me in the Baptist, which is next school to Catholic.
To the Catholic school.
They live 2 feet from each other. Mission Road. The one he was in charge. The one he related to me, for managing me there. No room, no single room in Mission Road. Now started with Zebo Baptist School. The following year, people were taken to Orogen Baptist School. When you are standard 3, you now come to Mission Road. I turned that ladder. As God will have it, I start to challenge today. I'm the only person I was in class 4. When I now come from 4. I was the general monitor for the whole school. The teacher chose me to manage the whole school as a monitor.
The whole school?
That was my first life elevation. Wow. Everybody in standard 5, they rejected everything, but at the time they got used to it. Yes. Then when I finished that one, I was going to a Cobos High School. 3 weeks, my mother fell down and died. Wow. Now, after pronounced sickness, so. Okay. So I couldn't continue, no orphan, no father, no mother. I came back to Benin. At that time, I was working as a messenger as Benin Divisional Council, as the office messenger. One day, 1958, there was a festival in Benin, annual festival in Benin called Igwe Festival. That Igwe Festival is our Christmas, it's our New Year. So, because of my pressure, I don't know what's happening, God directing, I moved with the nobles. Benin during that time, very small. The people at that time are the chief judge, the SSP, police, and lawyer. 3 of these people are my friend. He went to Rotimi William, first arrived Benin. It was me who came to welcome him.
And how old were you at this time, sir?
9, it was at 10 or 12.
No.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
And you were already moving with the nobles.
Yes. So, Stephen Peter Thomas, Azeb, can you get this? Then SLP Kizo. If I tell you I get it, he will give me £2. Oh. £2 at that time, oh no God, no God. Not like that.
Yes, £2.
Kizo now said, if you get it for me, I will put you in the police. I got home. I told my friend, my best friend on that was a driver, Osawaru.
Okay.
Short. Saberu, this is what they offer. Osawaru said, take police. Because his two brothers are in the police.
Are in the police.
See, when they come home, the money I'm cutting every evening. They bought it £2. So I took his advice. I said I was able to, and he would take that girl to London for he would school her. He kept his word.
Wow.
The girl became a lawyer, became a magistrate. When he came back, became a judge.
Fantastic. And you joined the police?
I joined the police. It gave me my hope.
Yes,
when
your own part
the
of the deal.
Again, I scored another one. I am the only person today that police gave Land Rover to, not as a recruit to go to Keja.
Land Rover.
I did. Police Land Rover.
Yes.
To cook me to Benin to Keja to go and resume.
At the police college.
Yeah, police college. So when I got there now, I have a lot of problem. When I say problem, that but for God, no. People now suspecting that I'm because I was already grown up. The commandant, Adeola, which the commissioner of police, will come to my barrack to ask for me. For you. They now threaten every other student. So what of human beings is this? Anything I do is wrong. They want to see me out of police at all costs.
At all costs.
But they can't do anything without telling the commandant. They now told the commandant. After that, I was able to pass out. When I passed out, I got the best man. I took the stick. So,
wow.
So, then, independence now approaching. When independence was declared in 1960, if you look at Daily Times on the 10th of October, 1960, I was the only police officer that took picture with Tafawa Balewa. We had parade. He took me out of the line.
The Prime Minister.
The Prime Minister. Don't you know? We are going to tell him. He thought I was at Fulani. He was fixing officer to me. I didn't hear a word of officer. So they have to quickly replace me with somebody. So that was the achievement. From there, I was on duty. You take case turn by turn.
Okay.
A case just came. The person who want to take it, step out. The GSO too said, take
and asked you to take the case.
Take the case in addition to mine. What was it? Leventis Motors.
Oh.
The senior Leventis himself came to report the case that Action Group and NCNC, when they lost the election, they bought 100 cars. When they take over the government, they will pay back. But they failed the election. They
lost the elections. So how do they pay back?
And the vehicle now vanished from Ibadan to Agbo. Become a dilemma, how do I do it? Anyway, I was able to shorten because the long time. Shorten it, know where the vehicle is, come and retrieve the vehicle in Agbo. The message now say, want to see me. Enough, please, come and work for me. From
the Nigerian police.
I should come and work for him. He now went back to him, opened his board behind him. Said, this is your General of Police salary. I will give you more than General Police salary.
If you work for me.
If I work for him. Now, in the black as a father, if they promote you every 3 months, it will take you a number of years before you can get there. Therefore, I took the opportunity. The first month, God just opened the gate. I made £13, 30,000 pounds.
Wow.
Commission alone. I went to took a land in Olia Quarter. I built 68 houses there. From there, I started my own mid-motors. When I registered mid-motor, there were 15 motor companies in this country. Mid-motor is about the first indigenous. Fully owned. It's go and investigate in the company registry. So as I was doing this one, war started. He said, you know, import vehicle again, I had to start assembly plant from Japan, you know. I started CKD Torino from Brazil, Igbinedion Fiat. So I was the one begin those ones. So that is how I begin the job.
The journey. Now, in all of this, your educational journey, your formal educational journey stopped at a point, even when you were very young, after the death of your mother. But you were able to do so much, have been able to do so much, and you're still going strong. Yes, I know that you will say the grace of God, which is key. But what was it that kept driving you to achieve all of this?
I listened to God's voice. One Romanos was lecturing in school Baptist and said there's nobody that God doesn't speak to. It depends whether you recognize God's voice when He speaks to you. That day, enter my ears, sink to my stomach. It's an everyday remembering for me. One day, God woke me up. We're discussing now. He said, go and build me 2 churches. I said, go and build more than 40 churches. Why do they? He said, no. Build one your compound. One is Apple Road. Make sure not to say, you may not believe, hard to believe, but that's the truth. I can't lie on God.
You got the clear location.
I can't lie on God. So, but when I refused to hear Him, my empire almost crumpled to the ground.
Wow.
Until He came back to me today, again.
Asked you to do this.
From there, I next up again.
Now, obviously, you have a very close relationship with God. And I'll still go back to the issue of your education, which was truncated at a very young age. But in spite of that, you were not fazed. And you ended up being the pioneer, one of the pioneer educationists in Nigeria. You didn't just go to the university. You started up with a nursery school, secondary school, and then, yes, but you owned your own schools. Was it because you loved education, or what was it that took you on this educational journey?
On this pathetic ground. Because at that time, the only school were here. Now let me tell you the origin of private university in this country. That may interest you.
Yes.
I was very close with Babangida. He now phoned one morning I had to come and spend time with him. Every Sunday, you know, the place almost like deserted. They go to church. So as I arrived there with late Cabo, I only met him sitting down in the sitting room. Explained pleasant to him. The wife was bringing him fish. You know, all of you are women, but you can never meet the way she cook fresh fish. You can't beat madam. And we were speaking, he gave me my pepper soup. We were going to give the husband out to him. A telephone rang. IBB that were close, choking just now, he said, oh my God. He just put it for say, what's happening? I did not think of it before I left Benin. God just put in my mind, say, let private people participate so we can do ASU. He said, I will.
Okay, the phone call was about ASU strike.
ASU strike again. Say ASU again. And then when the Fafuwa came, I prayed to him. Within 3 weeks, he brought out the form. 63 of us, investigators, 63 of us collected form.
To set up private universities.
They now say 200 million. Bank guarantee. I said that they have my bank. I collected the form. Everybody collected. Only 9 people returned. It took me 9 years, 4 months. But they put the place before I can get the license. Because they were obstacle. They never want private university to see night of the day so that they can continue to control like government. If there were no private people, government would have run up and down by now. Luckily enough, Abubakar came to go to the news team, approve it, and we started it. So that is the situation of Chad. Since then, we have been growing. Even today, we have excelled more than any university. Hold on now. The achievement. Thank God for that.
Yes, thank God for that. You're a man who has recorded several firsts in Nigeria. You talked about, when you were talking earlier, you talked about setting up your own automobile company.
Yeah.
Igbinedion University is there.
Yeah.
And having achieved all of this, I'm wondering, looking at the terrain then, yes, we know that the Nigeria then is not the Nigeria that we have today. But you've said you went into education on a pathetic note. All of these other pies, quote and unquote, that you put your hands into, what motivated you?
That's what I'm telling you. For instance, like the hospital.
Yes.
My own cousin, Abagbe, died before they bring him to Benin. The road is so bad. But when you get a good thing, people will go there.
Yes.
For instance, that hospital have done great people. IVF, we have succeeded about 6 children. All the children we born there in IVF, they've all graduated now. So I like helping people. I'm a post office. I like to distribute.
You are indeed a philanthropist. The world of business, when you started, maybe it was easier then, but you're still going strong even with the economic challenges and meltdown all around the world. Sir Gabriel Igbinedion, how have you been able to hold your own in the world of business in all of these areas?
Nigeria is hard to survive. The most difficult terrain you want to do business in Nigeria. To survive in Nigeria, you'll be multi people successful in the other country. Even with our neighbor here. I have 1 or 2 things, even in Ghana here. Here, you beg for your right.
So it is not easy to operate any business in Nigeria. Fine. But you have held your own. You've been able to survive this far. And of course, you have children who have traversed the length and breadth of this country and are successful in their own chosen fields. I'm wondering, you have a son who was a former governor of this state. Why did you not take up politics even before your son did?
It never appealed to me. One, lack of education, and the hardness is too much. People talk from two sides of their mouth, I don't believe it. Yeah, my son was.
Exactly.
Yeah, but.
Not for you.
Yeah.
The defunct Okada airline was a trailblazer when it was there. It set standards for other airlines to follow. You were the first person to operate a Boeing 737 aircraft.
47.
Yes, in Nigeria here. What happened?
Please don't touch my sore point.
Okay.
Well, let me give you as much as I can. It was envious. Enviness. I stand to be challenged today. I have 46 aircraft I bought with cash. Some quarter thought I was gold digger. They pay for my pilots. When they are going, they put metal in the engine.
My goodness.
Within 3 months, 46 aircraft were grounded.
Goodness.
I have to take 727 to other country, which I now grow up to 40 something again now. In a different name. And I've now invested in the sea, which nobody knows. I have more vessels in the sea, with where nobody can tell us. This country, be careful. Please, don't let me provoke them. It's a sad
It's a sore point for you.
What does it? But thank God, those people that sabotaged, none of them is living. And if you to sell the aircraft, only God answer my prayer.
And indeed, God will always answer your prayers. Obviously, you must be really strong-willed to still be operating even your various businesses in Nigeria. I think at this point, having heard so much from the Osama of Benin Kingdom, Chief Gabriel Igbinedion, it's time for us to take a break. Let's get to meet a few people that he has spoken about, people that he has worked with, people that, he has met in the journey of his life. Come with us, let's meet these individuals, and we'll be right back.
All I can say is he's a very, very interesting man. He has a very, very interesting personality. I have known him for quite a long time, 30, 40 years. When he started his foray into the business world, a man of courage, a man of adventure, a man for whom the word impossible does not exist. He's very cultural, encourages at every opportunity to celebrate cultural performances. On New Year's Day, is it New Year's Day, the native New Year, everywhere dance, period, and everywhere dance. I'm in my bedroom, they're hearing them singing. I enjoy that, all of that. So he's an unusual man. There are very few people like that. Of course, like all human beings, he has his minuses. One doesn't agree with him in everything that he does, but there's no question at all.
He's a man of everybody. Right from the beginning, he has been developing this Okada. So if you can see the bridge now, not only this, secondary school, he built it with his own effort. Post office, all the amenities that you are seeing here is the effort of our son, Chief Igbinedion.
The Osama of Benin Kingdom, our Honorable Chancellor, has provided one of the biggest opportunities for growth, human capital development. Consider the number of graduates that we have turned out from this university. This university, as I speak now, has 8 colleges, has 49 programs, all fully accredited, and on a regular basis producing quality professionals that are excelling internationally, nationally, and globally. He is a typical example of a blessed man, one who is riding on divine vision and mission and perfecting the will of Lord in his life.
I would like to describe the Osama of Benin as a man who has imparted so much in the health sector of Nigerians. I recall once when I was a medical officer several years ago, and Igbinedion University Teaching Hospital was the center of medical excellence in Nigeria. Apparently the only center that had some facilities that was not available in the entire sub-Saharan Africa. And as a young medical officer then, we used to have facilities like lithotripsy that was not available in the country. And people used to come from everywhere to Igbinedion Teaching Hospital, including flying in with helicopters. And is to tell you how far he has actually impacted on the health sector of Nigerians. So he's a man who, if you are counting and writing the records of the health sector in Nigeria, you cannot miss out writing the name of Chief Gabriel Osawaru Igbinedion because of his positive impact on the health sector in Nigeria.
Yes, welcome back. And you've heard from them. You've known the kind of individual that Chief Gabriel Igbinedion is. So it's time for us now to continue our conversation with him. The title, the Esama of Benin Kingdom. I know that, yes, this is part of your palace. For people like me who do not know what it means, what are your specific duties? Because when I was coming in here, for me, I was coming into the palace of a king. So I'm wondering now, and of course we have the Oba of Benin. So what are the duties of the Esama of Benin?
I mean, the Oba is overall in charge. The specific chief said that whatever happen with Benin, you can take decision.
Okay.
Yeah. I have my meeting place there, where traditional matter have been settled.
Well done for all that you're able to do. Moving on to the family now. You are a man who seemed to be very family oriented. Your children have made marks in their own chosen fields. Like we said earlier, one of your children is, a former governor of the state. We have one of your children also at the House of Representatives. Looking at what you've been able to achieve in life and your children as well, how has your life impacted them in your own understanding?
To start with, I am so happy, grateful to God, thankful to God, that every man, I don't want God will be the glory.
Amen.
I have great grandchildren, even this month, 2 already. As that, I'm grateful to God, I thank God Almighty. For what He has done for me.
Indeed, Chief Gabriel Igbinedion is a family-oriented man, a man who believes so much in God. I mean, you've heard him say it, that he listens and he hears from God. Why don't we get to meet some members of his immediate family and possibly 1 or 2 from his extended family to actually find out who he is on the home front? Come with us.
For me, he has always been my mentor, both in words and deed. He does what he promised. He's action-oriented. He's full of life. Never a dull moment around him. His table is always full. So he's a people's person, and he has that big heart of forgiveness. He's an individual that believes in himself, believes in his nation, believes in his custom and tradition, and believes in the family way. He's a disciplinarian, he's a hard-working man, he's a pace setter. He has created jobs in various sectors, which is the foundation for development. When people have self-esteem, they have where to go. They wake up in the morning, they have work to think about. It creates that sense of well-being and acceptability in society. So he has touched many lives.
He's full of life, and he's strong, a very strong man, and also very compassionate. I don't know how you can be strong and compassionate, but he is that. And he's all embracing. He loves his children as many as we are. And he always has ideas. With a father like that, you learn to step up. And with a father like that, yes, he had time. I mean, every business came on as the years went by. He never had every idea. He will add more to it. He kept building on businesses and building on. But he always had time to discuss with us He always had time to visit us at boarding school. It was hard growing up with him as a father, as a young child. It was hard, but we knew that nothing was impossible because of how hard he pushed us.
Having met the members of the family of Chief Gabriel Igbinedion, I think it's time for us to continue this conversation because there's so much that we still have to hear from my guest today. Still talking about business, your investments over the years. I know that one very important investment of yours, which still holds very dear to you, is ITV. Talking about the television station. What gave birth to ITV? What made you decide to go into television?
A day came, again, God bless him, Babangida again. There was something happened to NTA. To precise, Lucas' daughter was the director of NTA. One of the equipment, the Koyi, Mambola, Lucas. Without going detail, I told Akomo, the vice president, that they should allow private media to come in. When they tender it, in Community Council, they turn it down. That when there is school, they cannot control it. That was their reason. I went back, not giving up. At that time, Mrs. Abacha was very instrumental. The wife have control. It's my daughter. He said, David, we talk to Abraham. They now came back to say, Baba, we cannot turn you down. Let me tell you how ignorance is going to be.
Yes.
They now said they would not give us VHF.
Okay, VHF.
That VHF go longer range. They gave us
UHF.
UHF. That go short distance. That's the advice the minister then gave them. In our turn up by UHF is now even more important. 10 licenses were given out that day. I was number one. The list is there, 13, 1. I was given 3 licenses that day.
Wow.
The one that normally broadcast what? Huh?
Cable broadcasting.
Cable broadcasting. That's number 1. Television, number 2, and radio, number 3. It was all of what I was given to. That's how we started.
But you were the pioneer, basically.
I was the pioneer.
Yes, yes. And so what's that, why you decided, if I'm to get you right, was to be like a backup for NTA, which was the only station then? I
wasn't the backup of anybody. So I would go to make my own identification.
Identity. Okay, yeah, so you came to compete with NTA.
Yeah, I came to compete with NTA.
And you have, ITV has held strong till today.
I'm not competing, but we do make up the vacuum that they could cover.
Okay. Well, and I know that ITV is doing very strongly amongst its own clients. I was reading somewhere about you some time ago, and there was a statement that was credited to you. You said, it is lonely at the top. Very lonely. Can you please expatiate on that? What do you mean?
My dear, in every ramification, when you get to where we get to, like this town, I don't know where I don't see any place to go. All my age mates, very few, can't even pick up. Once you are at the top, you are very few. Let me give you an illustration.
Please do.
If you take back, for instance, people are looking for 100,000 to borrow or more.
Yeah.
People are looking for 10 million to borrow. Follow. People are looking for 100 million to borrow. People are looking for billion, 24 billion, very few. Very few. So you have to beg your God which category you want to belong to. Very, very lonely at the top.
In private conversations with you, you narrated some of your experiences. You know, how people had tried to shortchange you and undercut you in the line of business, yet you've been able to remain steadfast. I want us to quickly take back that, you know, go back on that so that our viewers can learn, especially the young ones.
As I said, that to do business in Nigeria is one of the most tedious tasks you can face. You face the real thing I'm telling you now, which I did the first time I was saying that. This is only in Nigeria you see that. You see interest rate change 4 times a year without notice. You cannot, if you borrow money at 20%, 21% rate of interest, which business will you do? First of all, to get 20% in a year for the first year you start, the bank is debiting you, whether you like it or not. You actually borrow 80 million. If you're borrowing 100 million. The bank says, first of all,
Yes.
20 million
million
out of it. You have not. Then you have to give 20% of it again for theft.
Theft.
Every businessman budget for theft in Nigeria. Let me tell you the truth. You cannot be clever enough. They always step ahead you.
So you have to factor that into your business.
All right. If you now put 40%, what profits will you put in the business? That you will pay the bank, pay for free time, and pay for shortage, no electricity. You can't talk storage, anything that for the other one, you cannot rely on NEPA. Because that's why NEPA is a standby. Even in the little country we have, they first of all establish they have light. But in Nigeria, we have been fighting light for the party since Nigeria have become origin of themselves. But we still haven't been able to get there.
Wow. We hope we get there someday, and very quickly too.
I will do it in my lifetime.
I pray so too.
As I said before, that a success without a successor is a failure.
A success without a successor is a failure.
A success without a successor is a failure. Only thank God for my life that I have known my successor. And I know my successor what he will go to do behind me. Because I involved with them in my business earlier. So
that was just what I was going to ask you about your children and your businesses.
It does not, some fail, some doing well. On the other hand, failure is no final. Only success have no end. The government had to change the Nigeria orientation. Since we have discovered oil, we are now crying back to go to the farm. We think everything is easy. My one Canadian man shaped my life. I was a mid-motor, did Peace Corps from Canada. They posted it to me as a Peace Corps. Old man, 68 years at that time. They say the money you took from your capital is dead. My friend, if you make 100,000 profit, take 30% of it, apply it to the business that gave you the money.
Wow.
Save 30%. Don't count it your money. Don't count it among your capital. Save it for the rainy day. The 30% you can enjoy to blind people and everything, then you are okay. After the profit you are making, after you set aside 40% back note, and then If you kind of lucky enough, 10%, 5%, the preference you gain 50%.
Oh.
So those are things that
has helped
established to be what you are. But if you don't just come out, the one spend your money to say live above your means, then you can make it.
Going away from business now, you mentioned something earlier about people making money and wanting to have the best partners in life. You're married to a Jamaican.
I'm married, very happily married.
Yes, happily married too.
Yeah.
But a non-Nigerian. Yes. But of course, I'm sure she's Nigerian in every way. How did this come about? Where did you meet her? Considering the fact that, you know, the way you started and how you have grown your life.
Yeah. I thank God I did that.
Okay.
I thank God that I did that. Because marriage is an understanding of both parties.
Yes.
I went to an office in London. I saw the beautiful dancer. I just went to her and said, you are going to be my wife. No,
straight up like that, yeah. To the damsel.
I said, you are going to be my wife. I said, I will marry you. She thought it was a joke, but God still is together. And my prophecy came true.
Indeed, yes, it came true. And you're still very much happily married to her today. Yes, congratulations once again. Take us through your daily routine. Because you're 87, yet you're still going strong. I mean, when we came here, we had to wait for you because there was a meeting that you had to attend. And what is it about Chief Gabriel Igbinedion? What is it that has kept you going, apart from the grace of God and keeping yourself busy all of these years?
You want to know the secret?
Maybe you should tell me,
I will tell you. But what I can tell you honestly, right with me for the past 50 years, I don't eat fridge put on the fridge.
Fresh food.
My compound here, I plant all the, we could go and spot it, I'll take picture. Whether I watermelon, whether I melon, whether I leaf, bitter leaf, also I plant all here. Even to the plantain I eat. Number two, I've never gone to market to buy cow meat, never. They bring the whole one, I kill the whole cow. The same bush meat. Nobody go to bush meat and bring me already slaughtered bush meat. They buy a whole one, come and slaughter in my house. What you eat is more meaningful. Any food you use fertilizer to cook, that fertilizer is affecting you also, it's without you knowing. I select my food. I'm careful for what I eat. I'm very strict. If you have discipline of food, you can last long.
If you have discipline of food, you can last long.
By 6 o'clock, people already line up at my gate. I don't see it. And by law, Benin law, I cannot drive them out. You have to listen to them.
By your title?
By my title.
Okay.
You can't drive anybody. Anybody, because any mad person enter your house, I cannot drive away. Only my officer will say, excuse me, come, sir. You can help you carry your chair.
Huh.
Do you hear what I'm saying? You can't stop him.
So your day starts at what time and how does it go?
When I wake up, in the morning, I'm an early riser.
Even at this age?
Every 7 o'clock or 8, I'm already down.
Wow.
And I work 18 hours every day. I sleep for 8 hours or 10 hours. That's no mistake. Because I sleep fast without thinking of anything. I sleep sound 8 hours every day today.
Wow.
Yeah.
I must say you're blessed to have, to be able to live this kind of life. Now, as we begin to round off this conversation, Chief Gabriel Igbinedion, you're a man who has made so much impact across the length and breadth of this country. You've made friends, you've made family all across. What do you think it is about you that has helped you to forge these friendships, these ties regardless of who and where the person is from? What is it?
Well, I would say that one is upbringing. Because you can be friends with witchcraft, friend with so anybody that come accommodate them. It keeps to have many parts. But diplomatic enough to deal with anybody as it comes.
You're mostly always dressed in white. And I've always wondered, even before I ever met you, is it because of the title? Or is it because it's your sense of fashion? What dictates?
Which one?
What you wear, your dress sense.
Yeah, even before I become a chief. This one is a culture. This Benin chief.
Okay.
It's the chieftaincy dress.
But even before you became a chief?
Yeah. That's my choice and what I like from youth.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Chief Gabriel Igbinedion, the Osama of Benin Kingdom. I want you to talk to our viewers. I just want you to speak to Nigerians, to speak to our consciousness. We've shared quite some good times with you here today, and I'm really impressed with, the way you have been able to manage your life. God has spared you up until this moment, and you're still going strong. Nigeria needs a reawakening. Please talk to our viewers and Nigerians in general.
Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir.
And thank you for your eloquency.
Thank you, sir.
My fellow Nigeria, as I've said over and over again, patient, and we must do more, but let government do more for the people. Because government have no need to establish their businesses. The road, light, infrastructure.
That's all they need to provide for us.
I've said it before, let them focus Nigeria.
And Nigerians ourselves, what do we need to do?
To have a change in mind, to know that you have to, when you're born, you have to learn how to sit, to crawl before you stand, before you can run. Not to start running before you start to crawl.
You learn to crawl. Wow, that's deep. Thank you very much, sir.
Now, let me attempt to explain to you. There are few things that is bad again now. 1.3 million people without JAM. And the whole university in Nigeria only have 300 to 400 vacancies.
1.3 million applicants and just 300 to 400 vacancies.
Yeah, that's all. What will happen this year? 1 million is run without school. Now the parents cannot pay, but no school. Yeah. Then next year, 1 million. Can you know what you are breathing? If when the frustration come, then you now say criminal. You kill people for stealing 1 naira to another, but people see their million with a pen. Please, we need to go to the drawing board.
We need to return to the drawing board. Thank you very much, Chief Gabriel Igbinedion, the Osama of Benin Kingdom. It's been a pleasure, and I've really learned a lot of things from you today. Thank you very much, sir. The program has been Executive Discourse coming to you on the network service of the NTA, and well, I have been speaking with the Osama of Benin Kingdom, Chief Sir, more like Gabriel Igbinedion, and I've learned so much. One thing I'm taking away from this conversation, he said, do not learn to run before you crawl. Rather, when you're born, learn to crawl, walk, and then run. So which means we have to get things right. Nigeria is the only place we have to call home, and we just must get things right. If you've had a good time with us on this conversation today on Executive Discuss, why don't you join us again same time next week on NTA Network Service. Goodbye, and God bless you. I remain Ololade Adeniji Adele. Bye-bye.